Hopefully my internet. What's up, everybody? Gamecock Nation, how y'all doing? Welcome back to another preview and prediction. This is actually a live, and I actually got a special guest with me, my man Trent in the SIP, an Ole Miss fan. If you guys can't tell by his display behind him and his hat, he's an Ole Miss Rebel fan right there out of the state of Mississippi. Good friend. I've been following him on YouTube for a while and put out great content. So y'all want to go check out his stuff, go hit him up on YouTube and follow him, subscribe to his channel, do all that stuff. But welcome, Trent. It's been a while since I talked to you, buddy. How you been?
I'm doing good. How about you, Chuck?
Oh man, I've been doing pretty good. I took a week off. We had a bye this week, so I actually took the week off, kind of rest, relax. Like I told you earlier, I went and visited my son in college and just kind of get away from football a little bit. I watched a little bit off and on Saturday, and then Saturday night, of course, I watched the big game between Georgia and Alabama and a couple other ones that was going on. But I just wanted to get away. I haven't done anything, since our last game, and I just wanted to relax and just chill for a while, man. Just kind of reset myself for the rest of the season. So, but we got a big matchup Saturday. You guys are coming to town, Williams-Brice. Probably 80,000 fans, man. That place is going to be rowdy, loud. Actually, not night. It's actually Saturday afternoon, 3:30. But it's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. Interested to see that. It's going to be a great matchup, I think. One that, to be honest with you, I'm a little weary of. I know you guys just took a loss to Kentucky. I know that was a heartbreaking loss for you guys. The way that game played out, the way it ended. Which, like I said, it kind of makes me weary because you don't want a team coming in. I don't think you don't want a team to come to your place that just come off a loss, right? They got all these emotions from the close loss. They're bringing all that to your home stadium. I just feel a little weary about the matchup, man. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's my take on it.
Well, of course, I'm an Ole Miss fan, but of course, I hope our team plays a lot better this week. I mean, last week, I don't know if you watched the game or maybe watched just part of it, but last week we didn't play good at all. Jackson Dart has been incredible the first 4 games of the season. Last weekend, he struggled. In the passing game, there's only one receiver we could really get involved. What really hurt us offensively as well, too, last week was the offensive line. And we have had offensive line injuries the whole entire season, even in the offseason. We were kind of thinking Ole Miss would be a team that could maybe be 8 deep, maybe 9 deep this year, offensive line. But a couple guys will be out this weekend and a couple guys will be out for quite a while. But it definitely showed this past weekend. And, I mean, Kentucky, they had a good defensive line. They got a good secondary. But they got pressure on Dart, several times in that ball game. There were several times they were getting to him within 3 seconds or 5 seconds. Several times in the matchup, Dart had to make a decision pretty quick. And then, of course, a bunch of penalties to defense could have played a little better. Just overall, we just wasn't ready last weekend. We just didn't play good.
Yeah. I feel you on the injuries on the offensive line. We dealt with that all last year. Surprisingly, this year I'd say we're healthy. I don't really know of any big time injuries that we're dealing with right now. I would say we're pretty healthy on both sides of the ball. Minus probably, we don't know Sanders is if he's 100% yet. Coach Beamer said today that he got out there and practiced. Coach Beamer basically said that everybody was good, but he didn't really go into it and say everybody's going to suit up and play if they're a starter or whatever. He don't have to release the injury report to tomorrow, so I think it's tomorrow night. So
yes, it's tomorrow.
We don't really know. We won't really know until tomorrow how healthy some of these guys are, if they're going to really play, if they're doubtful, questionable, whatever the case may be. But as far as overall, I think our team's pretty healthy. And we'll see how it plays out Saturday. Speaking of what you said about your team against Kentucky, what I noticed, what I did see of it, Kentucky was a real physical team on defense, and I don't know. I don't know if maybe y'all just played some, like you said, y'all injured. Y'all played some newer, younger players, some not so veteran offensive linemen or whatever, and maybe that's why they got the pressure on you guys, or maybe was the more physical team at the line of scrimmage. And I'll be honest with you, y'all gonna have your hands full again this weekend. I know I watched your video last night, and yeah, you mentioned Kyle Kennard. Yeah, you got to watch out for him. And I'll go ahead and take another name y'all got to be ready for. Dylan Stewart,
Yeah.
number 6, the real talented freshman. So we can bring pressure from both sides. I don't know how your offensive line looks or what y'all got on the left and right side as far as the guards or the tackles or the guards, I mean. But I'll be straight up honest with you. We got 2 dudes that are hungry on the edge, and both of them can get to the quarterback. My concern is, can we get pressure up the middle? Because I think that's where Kentucky really got to you guys last weekend, was up the middle. So if we can, if our edge rushers can seal off the edge, keep Dart in the pocket, and we can get some pressure out the middle, I think we'll be in for a good game. Yeah. Let's just say that.
And I'll kind of talk more about the offensive line. So this offensive line group, it's kind of pretty interesting. Some of the guys that have been at Ole Miss the past couple of years, I mean, some of these guys have been starters for Ole Miss the past 2 years or past 3 years. Some of these guys are actually backups this year. But then a bunch of these guys at Ole Miss the last couple of years, or even some of these transfers, have been kind of moved around. A bunch of these guys have played both tackle and guard. Some have played both guard and center. We've even seen some the first couple of weeks kind of guys move around and us just trying stuff out. But you do have a couple injuries at center. Jaquan Scott, Caleb Warren. I know those guys they've been kind of playing some recently. Jaquan really hasn't. Caleb, I think, just came back this past weekend. But a couple injuries at center. Tackles, a couple injuries at tackle as well, too. I mean, I like our 2 guards. We actually have 2 guard transfers from Washington. Mm-hmm. Guys are like 6'8", 6'9", both over 300 pounds. I mean, I like our guards, but the tackles and the center, to me, is kind of more of a concern for Ole Miss. So I do believe South Carolina, they probably will do pretty good. The defensive ends coming off the edge, of course, blitz up the middle. If I was South Carolina, that would be the game plan against Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's what I noticed from Kentucky. What I did see in the game, I noticed they were able to get pressure, with Walker, Deion Walker, the big number 0. Oh, Lord, I lost me. And Oxendine, their defensive front. So if we can, if our guys up front, TJ Sanders, Tonka Hemingway, and Boogie Huntley, if they can get some pressure up the middle, it might be a long day for Dart. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but I'm just saying that's the recipe for slowing you guys down. Because I know y'all got weapons on the outside. Trey Harris, what's that other guy's name? That bum, Juice Wells.
I know up sometime in the video.
But y'all got some weapons. Y'all got some weapons out there on the outside, right? And like I said last night in my buddy live stream last night, if we can get some pressure on Dart, if we don't get pressure on Dart and he has time to sit back in that pocket, I'm worried about our secondary. Honestly, I am. Now, there's a lot of Gamecock fans out there that'll tell you they're not worried, but I worry because there's been times where we've blown coverages, and y'all got guys that can get open. And like I said, Jackson Dart can sling the ball around the yard just as good as anybody. He has over 1,800 yards already and 14 touchdowns or something like that.
But yeah, I mean, of course, Ole Miss has already played 5 games this year, and the first 4 games were pretty easy competition for Ole Miss. Just being honest with you, I mean, Furman, Middle Tennessee State, you had Wake Forest, and then you had Georgia Southern, and of course, we had Kentucky this past weekend. But the first 4 games of the season were pretty easy competition for Ole Miss, and I mean, Dart had all the time in the world to pass the ball. I mean, of course, the offensive line looked pretty good, but of course played against easier competition. The running game was pretty good. The passing game was good. But then, of course, we realized this weekend that, this team we're playing this weekend's a lot tougher competition. And it was kind of a eye-opening experience, I think, to the players and I think also to the fans who will too. But we don't have any of these easy cupcake teams anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a challenge every single weekend. But I do have a couple of concerns about Ole Miss, to be honest with you.
All right. What concerns do you have as far as Ole Miss? I mean,
well, the offensive line we kind of mentioned there already, but a couple injuries up front. It kind of like possibility could be maybe 2 guys, maybe 3 guys on the offensive line who don't play this weekend. So that was a big problem. Of course, got to give Dart time. This has been a big problem for Ole Miss this year too, is penalties. We've been averaging like 10 or 12 a game. Some games we've had over 100 yards in penalties. That's been a huge problem. Too many times we gave other teams just another chance to score the ball or drive down the field. That's been a huge problem for Ole Miss. And even this past weekend, we only got the only receiver who actually had a catch was pretty much Trey Harris. Juice Wells was quiet this weekend. Jordan Watkins was quiet. Our starting tight end got his first catch like a minute left in the game. A couple of our running backs had some catches, but Ole Miss has got to get some more guys involved this weekend. And I noticed several times last weekend, even before the snap, I mean, Dart he's already looking toward Harris. I mean, sometimes he's looking over there once, looking twice, looking 3 times. And I think the defense kind of eventually caught on. Like, okay, Harris is going to be your first option. Jackson Dart wants to pass the ball to Trey Harris almost every single play. And there were several times last weekend, Dart already had his mind made up who he's passing to. There were several times as soon as he said hut, within a second and a half, the ball is already coming toward Trey Harris.
yeah.
And Trey Harris is a very talented receiver. There were several times he's double teamed. And as soon as Dart threw the ball, I mean, there's already 2 guys right there trying to tackle you. There were some plays this past weekend that, Harris could only get just a yard or 2.
Yeah.
But we got to get guys involved for sure.
Yeah, as far as y'all's offense now, is Trey getting the look based off of how comfortable Dart is with him, or is Juice and them just ain't getting open? I mean, what is your take on why he's targeting Trey Harris instead of everybody else?
I mean, those 2 do have a very good friendship. They are very close. They spend a lot of time in the offseason as well, too. But I mean, Trey Harris he's the tallest guy, the most physical guy. He's the guy who's the most dangerous down the field. I mean, I definitely see why he's getting most of the catches, and definitely see why he's getting a lot of attention. I definitely see why he's kind of our first option, but I do kind of wish Dart would kind of consider some of the other guys more, in my opinion, like Juice Wells or Watkins or somebody else.
I got you. Well, as far as South Carolina offensively, we don't know who's going to be a starting quarterback, right? Sellers is, according to Beamer, is healthy, good to go. A buddy of mine, he said that he feels like Robbie Ashford's going to get the start. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll know probably kickoff who's going to be the starting quarterback, I guess, unless Beamer comes out and says who's going to be the starter. But either one, they both bring a interesting dynamic to the game. They both about 6'2", 6'3", about 230, 250, somewhere in that range. Big, tall quarterbacks. They can hurt you both with their legs, and they can hurt you with their arms too. And I know Sellers has not shown it yet, but he's only a redshirt freshman. Last year, he wasn't the dude, right? He's behind Spencer Rattler. He came in and did mop-up duty against Furman and whoever else. I can't remember who the other team was, but he came in and did mop-up duty against other teams, Vanderbilt, teams like that, right? So we really haven't seen him just let it rip. You know what I'm saying? This year, I think through 4 games or through 3 games, he's come in real tight, real nervous. the eyes are on him because he's the dude now, right? He's the number one quarterback, right? So to be fair about him, until he gets more comfortable in the system and I guess calms down and don't let the nerves get to him, I think you'll see a different quarterback than what you've seen through 3 games that he's played, two and a half, because he got injured in the LSU game and was knocked out. So,
Yeah,
either one we roll out there, you're gonna get that dynamic of running. And I saw at the Kentucky game. The quarterback was able to hurt you guys running the ball, Vandegrift and the other guy. I can't remember what his name is, but they both had success running on you guys up the middle. So I think that's something you guys are going to have to prepare for because, like I said, either one that rolls out there can run. And they may look big and tall, but they got some speed. They got some wheels on them, trust me. But outside of that, I mean, if Sanders is healthy, he's our go-to back. He gets the bulk of the carries, or he has as far as the running back room. If he's healthy, y'all see a lot of him probably. We got a couple guys that's also in the running back room. Jawan Howell, we brought him in from North Texas. Jawan Howell, we brought him from South Carolina State. My bad. Oscar Attaway, we brought him from North Texas. So we got big running backs back there that can run. But for the most part, it's been Rocket Sanders, and that's our run game. Passing wide receiver, we really hasn't had anybody step up and like separate himself from a wide receiver standpoint. Our leading wide receiver right now is a true freshman, Mazio Bennett. The young man, he can get open. I like the dude, man. He's a baller. He's a great wide receiver. He's more of a I guess a slot receiver, I guess you could say, that can get open. He finds ways to get open out there in the field, right? And if he can get open, I don't know how y'all secondary looks, but y'all got to be on him. I say he's probably our go-to receiver there. We have other options. Nick Harbor, everybody talks about him because he's a big track athlete, got that super fast speed, but he hasn't done a whole lot on the football field right now. So got a couple other wide receivers. Jared Brown, he's another guy we brought in. He's a possession receiver. Delvon Campbell, then Dravius Jacobs, we got him from Florida State. But we really have, like I said, haven't had anybody in the wide receiver room really separate themselves. You know what I'm saying? To be that consistent go-to guy. So that's yet to be determined as far as that. So in my opinion, in this game, I think y'all going to see a lot of running plays. I think South Carolina's going to try to pound the ball on you guys because they saw what Kentucky was able to do. And I just think that's probably the smart way for South Carolina to go. Mix in a few passes here or there. Try to, like I said, I don't know how y'all's secondary look, but maybe try to exploit the middle of the field. And
yeah, I can talk about the Ole Miss defense more. So, yeah, this past weekend we gave up around 95 or 100 yards to Kentucky in the running game, and the defensive line is our strength for sure. Now, the first 4 weeks, this Ole Miss defense was only giving up like 33 and a half yards per game in the rushing game, which is first in the country. And I mean, you look at this Ole Miss defensive line. We have several guys who are seniors, several guys who will be NFL players in the future. I mean, Jared Ivey, he'll be an NFL player. Allen from Florida, very good defensive end. Begeeds at defensive tackle. Walter Nolan at defensive tackle. Even the backups are pretty good as well too. But yeah, the defensive line is still up pretty good. But yeah, this weekend, not quite as good, but they still did pretty good. I mean, they still got some sacks. They still got some tackles for loss. But yeah, the defensive line is a strength for Ole Miss for sure. Now, the passing defense has been a problem. Right now, Ole Miss is around 85th in the country, 85th or 90th, I believe. It's in that ballpark somewhere as far as passing defense. We have not looked too good at all in the passing defense. Even this past weekend, we gave up a couple big plays in the passing game. Even the other games in the past gave up a couple big passing plays as well too. So just kind of from my perspective here, I am kind of curious to see if maybe South Carolina maybe tries and takes some chances down the field, or maybe trying to get a passing game going some. Because, I mean, right now we are giving up around, I think it's around 300 or 330 passing yards per game, which is, I think it's around 85th or 90th in the country. This passing defense it's been a problem. It's been a concern, and it's got to improve. But also, a bunch of penalties on our defense that came from guys in the secondary too. So, been a bunch of pass interference calls. Hey, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on, but I cannot hear you. What is going on?
I'm a dumbass. I muted myself.
Yeah, you're all good.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, I was talking about penalties, right? That's what killed us in the LSU game. If it wasn't for, I say mental mistakes and a lot of Gamecock fans, because I was pissed off at it too. They want to blame, want to throw shade at the refs and stuff like that, of course. But at the end of the day, you got to play sound, fundamental. You got to have your head on right? You can't be making mental mistakes in the game. And it wasn't just that cost us that game. We it's like we didn't make changes, right? We went away from what we were doing at the beginning that we were successful. We just all of a sudden just stopped being aggressive in the game. And we also had a bunch of penalties. So penalties have been something that hurt us as well this year. I'd say that cost us the LSU game was penalties and our lack of keeping our foot on the gas, so to say, in that matchup. And we just got complacent. That's why we lost that one. But we got to clean up some of these mistakes. We have through the first 4 games, we've had a lot of like illegal men downfield when we're trying to pass the ball. And I don't know if that's because we got this dual threat, system with Lenoris that can run, with Robbie that can run as well, and maybe they're just drifting down the field too much or whatever. But we got to clean up mental mistakes like that. I think that's what's hurt us some this year. Whenever we have a good positive play, it always seems like we'd have a penalty to bring it back. And we need to come into this game and try to execute flawlessly. And we'll see. We'll see if we can or not. I mean, you never know. I mean, these guys are going to be jacked. They're going to be pumped up, for this game because Juice Wells is coming back. They say there's not no animosity in the room, but there's some.
Oh, yeah.
There's some people that really kind of disgruntled by the way he did things before he left, and the way Lane Kiffin trolled South Carolina. While he was getting him and all that. So there's some animosity there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this weekend, as soon as he touches the field or makes a catch or there's a touchdown, there's going to be a bunch of booing in the crowds for sure.
Well, you do realize he's never caught a touchdown in Williams-Brice Stadium.
I never have realized that before.
He's never caught. He caught one in the spring game. The spring game, but that's it. He's never caught one in a game.
I did not know that. I was just kind of assuming he had a couple, but I did not know that. I mean, I know that he had some injuries and the situation last year that happened, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean he's had some big games, but he hasn't found the end zone. Against Tennessee, I think he had over 100 some yards against Tennessee in 2022, but he never got in the end zone. So I think that's our plan for this weekend. Do not let him get in the end zone. that way we won't be no booing, man. Just keep him out of the end zone. Let you play, do the talking. So, our defense. I'll talk about our defense, I guess, for a little bit. We've improved some. I'll be honest with you. if you listen to some sunshine pumpers out there, and there's a bunch of them, they ready to give us like the best defense in the world, right? I'm not sold on it, man. I'm serious, and I tell you why. If y'all want to hurt South Carolina the most, run the ball, because I'm not sure where we are statistically, but we have trouble stopping the run. I mean, LSU, they told us if we switched to a 3-man front on defense, they were going to run the ball. And what do? We went to a 3-3-5, and they ran the damn ball. So if y'all want to get South Carolina, run the ball. I'm telling you the game plan. Run the ball and mix in some passes, Dakota. Protect Dart and mix in some passes. Until they prove they can stop a quality running back, an SEC caliber running back, because I think he was a freshman, Durham for LSU. He had almost 100 yards on us, So I'm not sold on our defense 100% yet. Yeah, we've improved, but we haven't been, I guess, tested as much. We had Kentucky. It's probably our biggest test. And the defense, and we got players out there on defense. Nicky Minwari, our big time safety, which he put something out there that he's going to be hunting for Juice Wells. But but we got him. Got a couple of DBs that are pretty talented, still coming along. O'Donnell Fortune is one. He'll probably be on Trey Harris, I'd venture to say, because he's probably a more veteran defensive back. I got Jalen Kilgore. He's another one that's pretty good. Our linebacker core, we've actually improved our linebacker core from last year. Brought in a couple transfers. It's got some speed and some talent. I talked about our defensive edge rushers, Stewart and Kennard. Y'all better put somebody on them too, because they know how to get to the quarterback. Stewart's got almost 3 sacks, I believe, and Kennard's got like 6 or something like that, 5.5, 6. So, and our up front, like I said, Tonka, T.J. Sanders, Boogie Huntley, them guys, they need to get pressure on Dart. And like one of my commenters said, he said the run defense worries him too. And like I said, until they show me that they can stop the run against an SEC team, then I'll be a little more high. So,
actually, our running back, he's I think second, I believe, in the SEC with total yards right now. Second, he may be third, but I'm kind of thinking second. It's Henry Parrish Jr. He actually went to Ole Miss out of high school, and he transferred to Miami. Then he actually transferred back to Ole Miss. But he's kind of a smaller guy, kind of fast running back. I think he's around like 5'10", 175, 180. But he's pretty good. So yeah, I mean he's been 75 yards every game probably. If not,
yeah. Let's see. I don't try to sugarcoat anything around here, man. So if my fans get mad, I mean they get mad because I'm hard on our defensive coordinator, and a lot of fans, like I said, a lot of fans are patting him on the back, and we're there, and I'm just not there yet, man. And I'm being straight up and honest with you, man. Maybe I'm just too tough. I don't know. Maybe it's the Marine in me. I don't know, but I got to see some more. I got to see some more out of that defense before I'm 100% sold that they arrived. What's the keys to the game? What's the key for Ole Miss getting out of Columbia with a victory?
So the keys for Ole Miss to me, first of all, is we've talked about it a couple of times already, but the offensive line. I mean, of course, Ole Miss has a couple of injuries up front, but we need some guys to step it up this weekend. We need some guys to just win the battle, just plain and simple. I mean, if it's the tackles, if it's the centers, the guards, you're the 5 guys who's on the field, You just got to win the battle up front. And of course, we talked about it already, but yeah, South Carolina has a couple pretty good defensive ends. I mean, we just got to win the battle. So to me, that's the first key is offensive line. Of course, I would say penalties. We've mentioned this earlier too. That's been a big problem for Ole Miss. We've gave teams too many second chances this year. We're averaging around 10 to 12 a game, I believe. Probably giving up around 80 and maybe 80 to 100 yards a game. So we just kind of got to clean up some stuff. I mean, we pass interference, holding, false start, just kind of a mixture of everything as well too. But that has got to improve for sure. Of course, the secondary has got to step up for Ole Miss this weekend too. The secondary has been a problem, or kind of a concern this whole entire season. And I mean, we got a couple guys who are okay, but there's a couple guys that still need to step it up. Trey Amos, that's our best corner. He actually transferred from Alabama. He's pretty good. Isaiah Hamilton, he's kind of our second best corner. And he's a guy, he's pretty good in zone, but in man coverage, he's horrible. Horrible man coverage. And we got some other corners and other safeties kind of the same way. They may be good at zone coverage, but may struggle in man. But the secondary's also got to step up this weekend. So that's kind of my keys.
All right. As far as keys to the game for South Carolina, like I said, establish the run. We got to be the most physical team out there, and that's where it's going to matter in this game. Whoever's the most physical in the trenches is going to get out of there with a victory, in my opinion. As far as South Carolina, we got to establish the run. We got to run. Sanders, Attaway, Jawar Howell, Sellers, Ashford, whoever. We got to run, and I think that's the key to the offensive side of the ball is establish that run and do what Kentucky did last week. Do what Kentucky did to you guys last week. As far as defense, we need to eliminate the explosive plays. Like I said, Dart can sling the ball around, and yet outside of Kentucky, he hasn't faced a secondary. To be honest with you, they can hang with Trey Harris. Not saying that we have the guys to do it. That's not what I'm saying. But this is another test for him, for y'all, for your team. Can we stay with y'all's receivers? Can we get pressure on Dart? Can we stop y'all's run? That's the key on defense. Like I said, I'm not sold on the defense yet. This game right here will tell me a lot about our defense. Whether it's improved or not. I think this is a good test for it. And that's the keys to that. And eliminate stupid plays, mental breakdowns, like you said, penalties, things that hurt you, get you in a negative situation. Or after you have an explosive play, it wipes it all away because of some dumb mental mistake, right? Like illegal man downfield or whatever, we just got to take care of them things. That's my keys to South Carolina getting a victory in this game. So,
Okay, I got you.
So, you ready to give your prediction, or?
I'm ready. So, yeah, I do believe it's going to be a close game. I think Ole Miss will pull it out, but I think it's going to come down to the final minutes, or maybe it could come down to the final plays. But yeah, I mean, of course, Ole Miss didn't play good last week. Of course, Ole Miss took their first loss of the season too. But this team, just kind of listening by the press conferences the last couple of days, this team sounds very motivated. Even at practice the last couple of days, it will too. And it seems like they're kind of pissed off they lost now. So yeah, this is not the time South Carolina wants to play Ole Miss after we lose. But I do believe Ole Miss will definitely play better this week. I think we'll be more prepared. Hopefully the play calling is also better as well too. I thought the play calling last week was also pretty bad as well too. I do believe we will score some points. I think this will win, but I think it's going to be a pretty close game. So I think Ole Miss can score. I'm going to say Ole Miss could probably score around 30 or 35. And I think South Carolina, but I'm going with Ole Miss. Going with Ole Miss 30. I'll go with South Carolina 23. 30-23 is what I'm going with.
All right. Well, if we can do everything I said, and if we can do everything I said, right, establish the run, play flawless, full 60-minute football game. If our defense is not too juiced up, no pun intended there, but if they're not too high, with what's going on the field, I think South Carolina has an opportunity to win this game, to be honest with you, just by what I've seen against Kentucky, the bits and pieces that I saw. And from what a Kentucky YouTuber told me as well, I think South Carolina has an opportunity to win this game. Can we? I don't know. We got to do all them things I said. But as far as a prediction, South Carolina hasn't, or Ole Miss hasn't been to Columbia since 2009.
Yeah. And
2009.
that game, they actually ranked, I think it was fourth in the country, and we lost by points or 7 points.
Yeah, y'all come in number 4, and you lost 16-10 to South Carolina, and that was the birth of Sandstorm. And something's telling me right now, dude, that South Carolina's going to get out of there with a victory. I think I'm serious. I think the atmosphere, the emotion. I think we got the tools to do what Kentucky did. Actually, we probably got the tools to do better than what Kentucky did to you guys, as far as a running quarterback, a dual threat quarterback, and actually a stable running back that can actually, get some good big time yards. And I got Ole Miss scoring about 27 points. So I'm about right there where you are as far as them. But I got South Carolina scoring 31 and getting the victory. I don't know. It's just something telling me. Because when I did my preview and prediction at the beginning of the year, I had us losing this game because I didn't know what we had. I didn't know what Sellers could do, being a redshirt freshman, first year starting. Didn't know what the running back room looked like. But I think as the weeks have went on, we've gotten better offensively. Maybe not statistically throwing the ball, but we've gotten better, at certain aspects. The offensive line has done a little better job, protecting and things like that. So that's where I got us at right now. And I don't know. It's something just telling me that's my prediction. So I could be way off. I could be wrong. It could be a slug. Y'all could just come in there and be pissed off, and Lane tried to throw up 100 on us. Who knows? Who knows, man? But that's where I got us at, man. 31-27. Either way, I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking.
But
I think it's gonna calm down to the final minutes or final poise.
Yeah. I mean, unless y'all just do a 180 from last week, it's going to come down to who has the ball last. I'm not. That's being honest.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but I mean, both of these teams have got an opportunity to get in there and win. I mean, that's how I look at it. So. All right, Trent. Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man, and doing this preview with me, man. I appreciate you. I will be live streaming the game, like a fan reaction kind of thing. So, you're not going to the game because it's not an Ole Miss. So, if you want to hop on, man, you can hop on and vent your frustration, or point at me and laugh if you want to, or
yep. Come in and rub it in some if Ole Miss is up big time. So.
Yeah. You can come on here and look at me, make a fool of myself, and rub it in. I don't care. I'm a grown man. I can handle it. So, but I will be doing the live like stream fan reaction kind of thing. So on Saturday, I've been doing the games this year. So plan on doing it Saturday unless something comes up. But if you want to, man. Come back Saturday and you can rub it in if you want to, if y'all are up or whatever. So
Yeah, I'll try and join in some.
if not, I'll be looking forward to your video, whether you will win or lose. So, but tell everybody where they can find you at, man. If they want to check the channel out. So.
Okay, so yeah, the my channel is called Trending the Sip, and actually, some may not know this. This is something you may not know as well too. But actually, SIP is short for Mississippi. Yeah, the channel is called Trending the Sip. Pretty close to 3,000 subscribers, and this is mostly just an Ole Miss channel. So of course, right now football going on. It's mostly football content. Of course, we'll do some basketball content. We'll do some baseball content, and do some other sports as well too. But I'm just a huge Ole Miss fan. Just love talking Ole Miss, and of course, if y'all want to check me out, you're more than welcome to. So,
all right, man. All right, well, hang tight, man. When I end this, we'll talk for a few more minutes, so and we'll set something else up for your channel. So, all right, everybody. Thanks everybody for stopping by, hanging out with us. Broccoli, Chris, Scott. Several other people watching, but none of them commented. So, but I appreciate everybody for checking it out and for listening. Go check out Trent in the Sip on YouTube and give him a subscription, man. He does good content. He does Ole Miss stuff. He does a lot of random stuff too. It's pretty cool. Some of the stuff's pretty cool. I like it. But,
yeah, I'll do some review stuff, just kind of here and there. Do some travel stuff here and there, but for the most part, it's mostly just Ole Miss. But.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one.